Okay, thanks for staying with us. It's time to take a very quick look at the headlines this morning. And of course, we're being joined by the managing editor, Gloom TV, Ayodele Adio. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Nice to
Thank
see
you
you
for having me.
And it feels like a new day,
Oh,
June 13, the morning after,
June 12.
Oh, yes. It's really
Okay.
a new day.
Yes, indeed. We'll begin with the punch. June 12, stop showing loyalty to Abacha, showing cartels Buhari as President confers GCFR on Abiola, GCON on Gani Kingibe, apologizes for annulment of June 12, 1993 election. And of course, who are those that were not there? Obasanjo, IBB absent. Nadeko seeks true federalism. Let's begin with that apology.
I mean, first of all, start with Professor Wale Soyinka, who's argued that the president cannot,
in the same breath,
praise or rather commend the Abacha, and of course, it's quite a contradiction if you'd ask me, because the same person that you try to, the same man that you feel is worthy of your commendation is the same person who locked up the hero of democracy. So it's some sort of a contradiction. You have to stick to one script, at the end of the day. I understand that it's political season and you have to jockey, you have to play politics here, but if you cannot play politics with democratic ethos, with democratic principles, and if a gentleman stands for certain cardinal democratic principles, you cannot on the one hand congratulate the person who jailed him, which eventually led to his untimely death.
While honoring the person that was jailed.
Exactly.
But I'm sure that the president had no such intentions, really, if you really look at it. But it's all right. Okay, 2 billion naira fraud, ex-governor Darie jailed for 14 years. You can see him there wiping away a tear or two.
It's quite interesting, to see that this is the second governor who's been jailed, and I feel pained because the first was another northern governor. If you look at the governors on trial, there've been about 24 governors who've been on trial, and 18 of these governors have been from the north. So you can see the correlation. Yes, you can see the clear correlation within the dismal level of governance in the north, the tremendous poverty, the chaos in the north, with the quality of leadership that they've had over time. And the evidence speaks for itself. Most of the northern governors are the ones who are under trial, and I hope to see more of these.
But does it have to do with anything as to where they come from, or it's just about the quality of what they did or did not do?
Well, I mean, of course, we cannot stereotype individuals based on where they come from and what have you. I only showed you that, to show you the correlation between corruption and poverty, because the north, of course, is the most poorest region of the country, and its leaders, like I just said, 18 of the 24 are from the north. So you can see the clear correlation between corruption and the level of governance, in the northern part of the country.
attitude
But
towards
of course,
governance.
we need to see more of these convictions.
Yes,
going
indeed, and it should cross.
Yeah, sure. You should cut across.
Cut across.
Party
All right.
lines
8 died, 2 injured in Ogun auto accident. Eagles train in Essen, Turkey, traveled to Kaliningrad on Thursday. National carrier to begin operation in December. That's according to the NCAA.
Well,
so very soon, Nigeria will actually have a national carrier. Okay.
Well, we're obsessed with the national carrier. I just do not.
Well, Nigerians have not really had.
I just don't
at the
understand.
time Nigeria Airways was there, Nigerians had a great time. When it comes to image, when it comes to...
It was Nigeria Airways.
Airways. Oh.
Air waste.
Eventually.
Eventually. That's what it
It
turned
was
out.
a largesse.
It
was a largesse. I mean,
but when it was there, Nigerians enjoyed good image, enjoyed convenience, enjoyed all of those. So it is like bringing back the pride of Nigeria again. So Nigeria is normal for Nigerians to be
Well, the point is, have we
this.
learned any lessons from...
That's for the government. That's for the government to handle, because they were the ones.
The truth is, government has no business being in government.
Being in
business.
In business, sorry. Because the same thing is going to happen. The beautiful days of the Nigerian Airways, you go see your uncle who is top, then he pulls out a drawer.
And
Thank you for seeing me. Take you a ticket. Tickets were just giving free of charge everywhere.
Well, we hope this time they should have learned their lessons.
I don't think it's a sensible decision to leave a national, because that's the most technical field in the world. The aviation industry has to deal with setting standards that are global and not just local.
And talking
So
about
to
the global
put that-
standards in Europe, most of the airlines are run by private
Yes,
sector. About 98%.
yes, the private sector
run,
driven.
yeah.
It's private sector driven. So
Well,
why
at the
we-
end of the day, there's a committee set up for that. So let's hope they have this arrangement where there is a public or private partnership kind of arrangement or something. Let's move to the Nation newspaper now. Buhari on June 12th, sorry. President honors Abiola, Kingibe, Fawemi, and Shoyinka advocates Hall of Shame. And Tinubu will back Buhari for second term. And Falana ensure rights and end killings.
Yeah, speaking to the president there.
Exactly.
At the
At
investiture
the
yesterday.
investiture yesterday, comments from everyone.
Yeah.
In fact, I can just imagine if the president had to take note of what everyone was saying. There was just
And
so
what an
much.
event that
There
was. I
so
mean, when
much.
you have Wole Soyinka, Jagaban, Iyorchia, so many people call Abiola, the Fayemis under one roof. Femi Falana.
Yeah, it was one huge occasion to honor an icon. You know, but like I like the fact that a few of them also had to point out the fact that Mr. President, you've done an incredible job honoring you know, the late MKO. But you also have to match that same, you know, words and courage, you know, by pursuing certain democratic ethos. You have to stop the killings in the country. You have to ensure that, you know, court judgments are being respected.
The
You
rule of
have to
law
do-
and all
you
of
know,
that.
and all of that has to
and-
go pari passu.
And from reports, certainly, a lot of people would say the government, the federal government, is culpable of not upholding the rule of law. With some persons who are still who have been granted bail and are still
that's
in
the
detention.
unfortunate situation.
I think the most important thing to Nigerians would really be to give hope and finally be able to say, yes, we have succeeded in saying farewell to poverty.
Oh, well, exactly.
Well,
because
that's going to take a very long time. Very long time. U.S. North Korea signed historic pact. It was
On June 12th, too.
June 12th, exactly.
Special day all over the world.
Yeah, historic for Nigerians. I mean, yesterday I sat down for a moment and I thought about it. Forgive me, I've been a Democrat for quite a long time. I have some liberal sentiments to these things, and I didn't like the kind of campaign that President Trump ran.
Why not?
But as at yesterday, I had to ask myself very hard questions. That this man has delivered on every single
He's
promise
getting
he has
results.
made. You know, since he got into office.
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be some method to his madness. And I quite appreciate the fact that he promised his base certain deliverables. And he ticked every single box.
Yeah.
You know, when Steve Bannon was in the White House, he had the big chart, you know, and there was a flow. And every single thing he said he was going to do, they just ticked it. You know, they had the big board that they ticked on every single thing they were going to do. Whether it was shutting down Iran, whether it was taking on, whether it was moving the embassy, you know, to Tel Aviv.
From Tel Aviv
You know,
to
from-
Jerusalem.
To Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And, you know, they've ticked every single box. He's argued that he was going to bring North Korea to the table.
And he has done that.
We've rained insults and what have you. And he's done that. He's brought the man on the table. The man said it before the whole world. He's going to commit to denuclearization. The man has delivered.
Somebody said Donald
You know,
Trump is a study in what leadership should be.
Oh, yes.
When there's a superior argument to yours, you should be humble enough to accept, okay, my way is not the way to go.
Exactly.
This is how we should do it.
Exactly.
At the time, it looked like the June 12th meeting was not going to happen.
Was not going to happen.
And
yes.
then it happened.
And then, so, I mean,
Well,
it's
okay.
You might not like his method.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't deny the result.
But he's delivering, like you said.
Let's just run through the rest here. Conjoined twins leave hospital 1 month after separation. This refers to Fatima and Mariam, who were born in Maiduguri and went to Yola to Federal Medical Center. And it's really nice that
More and more, we're carrying out these
doctors,
operations.
yes,
on
doctors
conjoined
are
twins in
handling these
Nigeria.
issues. The 1.1 billion naira fraud, court jails former governor Darie 16 years, and police uncover illegal blood bank and cracks in Ondo PDP over Mimiko. Well, those are some of the headlines. Yeah.
Okay, and to the Daily Sun, sorry, so sorry. Buhari begs Abiola's family over June 12. Of course, he did say that on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, he apologized to the family of MKO Abiola. And, you know, the interesting thing about that outing yesterday, Hafsat Abiola apologized to Buhari too.
I mean, you know, trust me, I've said it here before that sometimes for you to make progress as a country, you almost have to be as cynical as the politicians themselves. And I think if President Buhari had played politics early enough, we probably might have made more progress, in this country. He's a holy man, like people like to say. He doesn't like to play politics. He's holy. We are here.
Doesn't
he's
like
holy
to play dirt
and all of that. But you see, you have to play politics. It's the necessity of politics that has brought him to this decision.
But why are we bringing this down to politics? Is this really
Because
about politics or trying to heal the nation?
It is clearly
and
politics.
Bring about that sense of unity so that we can actually have closure and move on?
It is clearly politics, and it's okay. I mean, it's totally okay.
So you see it as good politics then?
It's good politics. Okay. That's why I said if he had played politics more often, and done the needful more often, we probably would not be as much, as we're in at the moment. So he needs to be more flexible and not, the wholly rigid person that he's always been, so he needs to be more flexible.
You're making it look like holiness and rigidity go together. Let's leave it. Okay. Real story of June 12 will be told someday, says Kalu. Ambode unveils 46 feet Abiola statue. And moving on, Father Mbaka disowns prayer chain circulating on social media. And diversion of 1.6 billion naira, ex-Plateau Governor Darie bags 14 years jail term. So the war against corruption is on course, would you say?
On course. Okay, let's move to the Vanguard newspaper now. Annulment at last. Federal government apologizes to MKO Abiola's family and others. We will no longer tolerate perversion of justice, Buhari saying that. And IBB Obasanjo sent apologies for absence at investiture. MKO was Messiah Nigeria never had. King Ibe saying that, and SDP leaders betrayed Abiola, says Shehu Sani.
Recall OBJ actually at one time said that Abiola is not the Messiah.
The Messiah that Nigeria needed, exactly.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, none of us can tell because he never got a chance to run the country at the end of the day.
The president that never was.
And lots of Trump to end Korea War games after historic summit. The next Governor Darie gets 14-year jail term. We've talked about that in the convention. Tinubu Akonde, APC governors endorse Oshomole's candidacy. Well, there's still a lot of current going on towards the APC convention.
I'm hoping that the convention actually takes place at the time they have said it was going to take place. I think it's the 22nd or the 26th, one of those 2 dates. There's still a lot of political jockeying, underneath to see that certain interests, are upheld at the convention. But let's see how it plays out. The Tinubu camp have thrown their weight behind, former Governor Adams Oshiomhole. Let's see how it plays out at the convention.
We'll look forward to how things will play out or pan out eventually.
All right, Moshood Kashimawo, Abiola, a life fulfilled. A tribute there from this day newspaper. And guess what? Buhari signs 2018 budget today.
Oh, yes. I mean, is there anything to celebrate about signing a budget?
I mean, look, let's not take things for granted.
I mean, no. I mean, we're signing a budget in June, for heaven's sake. For June, in heaven's sake. I mean, there comes a time where we need to get serious in this country, and do things, the right way, and have a stable budget cycle. Ensure that we start the year, the year with the budgets being signed early enough, so that we can get things done. Because at the end of the day, you have issues, with our procurement laws and all of that. When monies are being released, it takes 3, 4, 5 months for contractors to get to site and all of that. So you find yourself in a situation where at the end of the year, nothing is really done. And it has to be rolled over to the next year. So there's absolutely nothing to celebrate here.
All right. Still, of course, this day reports on June 12. We are sorry. Buhari tells families of Abiola and other heroes. Ekiti elections will be difficult to rig, says INEC.
Yeah, I mean, we hope so. It's one contest that everybody is looking forward to. Governor Fayose has promised
some say it will be the
16-0.
litmus test for the 2019 elections.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I really don't think so, because we cannot use Ekiti to judge the mood of the entire country. The truth is Governor Fayose is extremely popular in the streets of Ekiti. He's played his politics well. He's associated with the down and trodden. He's seen in marketplaces. He's bought akara where he needed to buy akara. He sold tomatoes for women. He's seeing everywhere. So he's a typical grassroots politician. On the other hand, former Governor Fayemi is a sophisticated intellectual, who speaks on bar charts and graphs, that the market woman does
But you
not
would
understand.
think that would actually appeal to the people of Ekiti. They are known to be I mean,
let me
they
be
produce
very honest with you.
professors.
Let me be very honest
yes.
with you. You know, I schooled in Kano in the north, and when I used to hear of states of Ekiti and the rest, I used to think, you know, that when you got into Ekiti, everybody you met was a professor.
Was a professor.
And you know, everything. And to my greatest amazement, most of it is rural. You know, it's a huge farm state.
Well, but however,
so,
lots of people from Ekiti are very enlightened.
Yeah, lots of them are very
really
educated. But
enlightened.
Ekiti itself as a state is largely rural. You know, you have lots of farms, lots of villages in Ekiti. You just have a tiny, you know, sets of urban areas. And so if you're highly sophisticated and you speak in you know, the Harvard language, you might not make a lot of traction in Ekiti State.
According to our people, too much grammar.
Too much grammar.
you have to step it down. You have to really step it down.
To the people's level.
To the people's level.
Okay. New Telegraph now. Tinubu, 14 governors endorse Oshomole as APC chair. Amosun, Ganduje, Bagudu, Lalong, Almakura, others visit ex-governor. President Governors Pali and Akeredolu, no real contest for party chair. Okay. It's like giving...
Meaning it will be a walk in the park.
Exactly. That's what it looks like. But in politics, to say 1 hour, 1 day, anything can happen.
What really can change that now?
Well,
especially when Oyegun himself has said he has no plans to...
you know, I wish
anything can happen.
I wish there will come a time, you know, in our politics where this idea of consensus, let us do some arrangement and together we can support one individual candidate, I wish it could become a thing of the past. You will need a political system where people who wish to aspire for any position should go out and contest. If you're more popular, you take the vote.
Exactly.
And I'm glad that the Not Too Young to Run bill passed. It means that if we campaign on certain issues, another thing I want us to campaign on in this country is for open primaries. We want our political parties to have open primaries so that card-carrying members of the parties can go and vote.
There's always
candidates, so let it be open. And all of this,
we hope to get there someday, because there's always interests, and that interests some people who have the influence would like it to be carried out to the last or to the letter.
Yeah, but we can fast track it.
It's all right. So we hope to get there. June 12th annulment. We're sorry, Buhari tells Abiola family. Abiola practiced inauguration speech before annulment. Daughter is saying that was revealing.
Yeah, that was a very touching.
Yeah, it was very touching when she was coming up with that yesterday. Showing you can't honor and admire his tormentor. Well, okay. Hope scientists find vaccine for syphilis. Okay. Wow. All right. Then ex-governor Darie bags 14 years jail term. And ex-VP PDP got 374 million naira from 1.1 billion naira fraud. Well, here and there, here and there, here and there. But the courts are waking up to their responsibility now.
Oh, yes.
Ayodele, thank you very much. Thanks
you
very much for coming on, but we'll keep you for the next discussion. So you're still with us.
My pleasure.
Okay. Let's go on a break.
Yes, indeed. And when we come back, we'll be talking more on TVC Breakfast. So many issues to look at this morning.